English is not a Latin language. This might surprise some people. After all, English is full of words with Latin roots. However, the core of English comes from a different family tree, the Germanic languages. English finds its origins in the languages spoken by Germanic tribes who migrated to Britain centuries ago. While Latin has significantly shaped English, it's crucial to recognize that this influence doesn't change English's fundamental Germanic nature. It's a fascinating blend of linguistic heritage. English's story is one of borrowing and adaptation. Over the centuries, it has absorbed words and phrases from numerous sources, with Latin being a major contributor. This makes English a rich and diverse language. It's capable of expressing a wide range of ideas and concepts. Understanding this linguistic background allows us to appreciate the complexity and evolution of the English language. By studying the roots and influences on English, we gain insight into how languages evolve and adapt over time. This journey through history reveals the dynamic nature of language, constantly changing and growing. English, with its Germanic base and Latin influences, stands as a testament to the power of cultural exchange and linguistic diversity. To truly understand English, we must travel back to its origins, to a time when the language was just beginning to take shape. English belongs to the Germanic branch of the Indo-European language family, a vast and diverse group of languages spoken across Europe and Asia. This family includes languages like German, Dutch, and Frisian, which share many similarities with English. English's journey began with the arrival of Anglo-Saxon tribes in Britain during the 5th century AD, bringing with them their distinct dialects and cultures. They brought their languages, which formed the basis of Old English, a language that would evolve significantly over the centuries. Old English was quite different from modern English, with a unique set of sounds, words, and grammatical rules. It had complex grammar and a vocabulary largely unfamiliar to modern English speakers, yet it laid the groundwork for the language we use today. However, it is within Old English that we find the foundation of our modern language, a rich tapestry of words and expressions. Many basic words in English, such as man, woman, house, and day, come directly from Old English, showing the deep roots of our everyday vocabulary. This Anglo-Saxon base gives English its fundamental structure and character, shaping the way we communicate and express ourselves today. Even before the arrival of the Anglo-Saxons, the languages that would eventually merge into Old English had encounters with Latin. During the Roman Empire's control over parts of Britain, trade and interaction introduced Latin words into the local languages. These early borrowings were often related to everyday objects and practices. Words like street, wall, wine, and cheese made their way into the language during this period. These words reflect the practical areas where Roman influence was most evident: infrastructure, food, and commerce. The adoption of these Latin terms demonstrates the early impact of cultural exchange on the developing English language. Section 4. The Latin Legacy of Christianity in English. The arrival of Christianity in Britain during the 6th century marked a turning point for the English language. Christian missionaries brought with them not only their faith, but also the Latin language, which was the language of the Church. Religious texts, rituals, and teachings were all in Latin, and this had a profound influence on Old English. Words like bishop, church, and angel entered the English language through this religious channel. Latin became associated with scholarship and learning, further solidifying its influence on the evolving language. The adoption of Latin religious terms reflects the profound impact of Christianity on English society and its language. Section 5. The Norman Conquest, a French infusion with Latin roots. The Norman Conquest of 1066 AD was a watershed moment in English history, and its impact on the language was just as significant. The invasion led by William the Conqueror not only changed the political landscape, but also brought about a linguistic revolution. The Normans, hailing from Normandy in France, brought with them their own language, Norman French, which quickly became the language of the ruling class and the elite. This shift in linguistic power dynamics had far-reaching consequences. This had a profound and lasting effect on English, transforming it from its Old English roots into a more complex and enriched language. While Norman French itself was heavily influenced by Latin, due to the earlier Roman conquest of Gaul, it introduced a new wave of Latin-derived words into English. This infusion of vocabulary significantly broadened the lexicon of the English language. Words like government, justice, and parliament reflect the Norman influence on English legal and political systems. These terms, rooted in Norman French, became integral to the administration and governance of England. The Norman Conquest resulted in a significant expansion of the English vocabulary and marked a turning point in the language's development. It set the stage for the rich, diverse, and dynamic language that English is today, blending elements from various linguistic traditions.